Assalamu alaikum all. Hello and welcome back to JK's Corner. My name is Joke. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. On my channel, I talk about healthy eating, which I have been failing at recently, healthy Islamic living, and also about Islamic marriages, Muslim marriages. If those are some of the things that interest you, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave today. Today's video was actually inspired in part by the Hakimi situation. I wasn't planning on doing a video about it, but on my way to work a few days ago, I saw this young dad with his baby son catching the same transport as I was on my way to work. And the reason this is prompting me to talk about this is the fact that I start work at 7 a.m. So I was out of my house already by 6 a.m. I'm so sorry about the dog. I've tried to not get it into my short, but it's not working. I don't know how long the dog's gonna be there barking, so I'm just gonna have to continue recording. So this dad must have left home as well around about 6 a.m. It's a cold spring morning, and it made me feel some type of way. Why I said that this video was inspired in part by the Hakimi case was because she had 2 sons by him. It just made me think about the situation of where we are in life today, where the way we have moved gradually, and myself included, from the traditional way of being in an Islamic couple, where the man goes out, earns a living for the family, provides for the family, and come home, give to the family. This dad that I was talking about, the interaction between him and his son, it was beautiful. I loved to see it. It's just a bit sad thing that at that early time of the morning, this baby in this weather was already going out, maybe to meet the childminders, or maybe dad is going to hand him over to mom wherever he was going, and mom will be bringing him. Maybe she worked night or whatever. I mean, these are just assumptions in my head. None of my assumptions even may be right, but it's just the fact that not only the dad, but I have seen a few other moms as well, some mornings when they have set off to work with their babies, and maybe they'll drop off their baby at the childminders. And when I say babies, I'm talking about kids that are not even walking yet, 6 months or thereabouts. And the fact is, society is making it so difficult for us to find a balance. A woman in the UK cannot survive, not even a woman, if you are in a couple, you cannot go down from whatever income you had before maternity and go on to maternity pay straight away. So as soon as your maternity starts in the UK, your income, the mom's income drops to 90% by my understanding for the first 6 weeks, depending on the case, depending on the employer that this person works for. But generally, I think it's 90%. And then after 6 weeks, her income drops to about 100 and something pound every week. How do you even start to then think of paying your gas, your electric, your house rent or mortgage before then buying food, clothing, and all that? Let's even forget about that. But your baby milk, keep the baby warm, all those baby needs. How do you do that? So it just makes me sad, because if a man, I'm talking about a heterosexual relationship here in an Islamic setting, if the men and women understand and appreciate the roles each of them hold in a family unit, we shouldn't be having this problem. Because if the woman does not step back to take care of the children in their formative years, the husband will not be able to get so high in his own kind of profession as to provide childcare for their children while they both go out to work, to make sure that this woman who is in fear that her husband is not going to provide enough for her if anything was to happen, because she's in fear, she's having to go out to work. But if we respect the sanctity of marriage in an Islamic context, this fear should not be there, because even after divorce, Islamically, the man is still responsible for the upkeep of his children, for his wife for a certain while, but his children definitely in the long term. So why would that have been a problem for Hakimi to let his wife have an entitlement to some of his wealth? It made me sad. Put it this way, right? If young men are happy that this happened, that his wealth has been protected from her, putting everything in his mother's name. Now imagine that this woman, it's sad that we're having to personalize pain for us to understand how it feels for the other person. Can we not just be human and understand that it's not right? Why wouldn't, if that was your sister who her husband has done that to, how would that then, would you then be happy that, would you have that same solidarity for a man if it was your sister who was on the receiving end of this mistreatment? Just want to appeal to you young men out there wanting to get married, and also young women. Remember, however we get into marriage, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us to account for how we treated our marriages, right down to how we treated our children, what knowledge of marriage we passed on to our children as well. We will account for all of this on the day of reckoning. So be mindful of how you're doing it. No matter what whatever you think would happen, just do it for the sake of Allah. And whether you want to go to court to get a divorce, just if you have the fear of Allah at the back of your mind, things should not have to go this far. We are getting married for the sake of Allah because Allah asks us to do so Islamically. So we should follow up everything we do Islamically. And for that woman who is worried that her husband is not going to provide for her, think about it really. Have a conversation before it ever gets to that point. That is why I believe strongly, if there is a need for a prenuptial to be done, please get it done. I don't think it's wrong to protect yourself at the start of your marriage before it turns sour, and we don't want it to go sour. But if it does go sour, at least you've protected yourself at the start. At the time that is necessary, important, you can both take care of those important decisions where you will both be kind to each other at that point. I really hope that you found this video very informative and useful, and I hope that inshallah somehow you and I are able to start making little positive changes among our own circle of friends to educate ourselves, to make sure that we are doing Islam, we are doing marriage for the sake of Allah, we are doing life for the sake of Allah. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in my next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye bye.